In this video, I'm going to talk about prescriptive versus descriptive approaches to language. We often think of grammar as being a set of rules for proper use of the language. These rules tell us what we should do. They prescribe our linguistic behavior. Many people learn about the language they should use, according to prescriptivists, in school. Two such rules that have never reflected how the majority of people speak are do not split infinitives and do not end the sentence with a preposition. An infinitive consists of to and a verb, as in to go, or to run, or to eat. This rule tells us not to put any words between the to and the verb, so we should not say to boldly go, or to frantically run, or to slowly eat, but we do. The rule that tells us not to end a sentence with a preposition would tell us we cannot say, "What did you do that for?" or "back off," or "I'd like to know what school he went to." There are ways to get around this, but in many cases the avoidance of ending the sentence with a preposition sounds awkward. Winston Churchill is said to have responded to an editor who corrected his placement of a preposition at the end of a sentence by writing back, "This is the sort of English up with which I will not put." The point is that neither of these prescriptive rules really reflect English usage. They seem to have been adopted from the grammatical description of Latin and applied to English as prescriptive rules. Another interesting little struggle between prescriptivists and the majority of language users is over the term they as a singular pronoun when the gender is not known. Instead of saying, "If any student wants their mark, they should talk to me after class," a prescriptivist would suggest saying he or she, or rephrasing the sentences in the plural, as in, "If students want their marks, they should talk to me after class," or "If any student wants his or her mark, he or she should talk to me after class." Which do you prefer? Linguists, on the other hand, take a descriptive approach to languages. Linguists are not interested in telling people how they should speak, but rather analyzing how people in fact do speak. Ewell describes how descriptive approaches in North America allowed the study of native languages. Analysts collected samples of the language they were interested in and attempted to describe the regular structures of that language as it was used, not according to some view of how it should be used. Throughout this course, I take a descriptive approach. I'm really unconcerned with what people believe other people should do. I'm only interested in what people actually do. Mooney and Evans have a fairly critical view of prescriptivists, who, they say, have very strong ideas about how language should be used. They have clear ideas about what is correct and what isn't. Prescriptivists seem to think that if language changes, if rules are broken, that the heart of language will be torn out. They compare this to linguists who see language change as natural and systematic and consistent with the codes of language. As Mooney and Evans point out in their book Language, Power, and Society, how decisions are taken about what is correct, standard, or even attractive and desirable for a language is very often related to power. These rules, they say, are maintained by educated members of the higher echelons of society. These rules, although they may not be based in anything other than privilege, power, and subjective understandings of correctness, have serious consequences. Users of language that is not considered standard may suffer in school, be denied jobs, or struggle in certain social settings.